Uh, in the movie Cool Hand Luke, there's an episode that it's by Paul Newman. It's an episode that says the warden is speaking to someone. I don't know if it's Paul Newman or whoever, but he says, "What we have here is a lack of communication," meaning to understand that the warden wanted Kuhan Luke, the prisoner, to do certain things in a certain way. And Paul Newman, being a prisoner, he was rebellious against authority, against figure authority, and that in this case it's the warden. Took place down in the south of the United States. Proverbs, I believe, says, "My people perish for lack of communication." People that deal in communication get pretty big money, lots of money, because they're articulating a certain thought that comes into that it's presented to them, so they can present it to the public. Okay, uh, presidents get elected because they have communicated right. President Kennedy said, "It's not what your country can do for you; it's what you can do for your country." And there's been a lot of people that are orators. I mean, if I'm pronouncing that word correctly, people that speak and they're communication and they're communicating. Believe it or not, but a lot of the speeches that a president gives, or maybe a CEO, it doesn't come from their heart. They hire people that are called speech writers. Okay, these people are compose a speech and they present it to the person in charge, the president, CEO, or maybe even a minister of a congregation, and they go with that. But they're able to convey that piece of paper into their own words as if they wrote it for them, because the person that wrote that piece puts himself in that person's coat, shoes, hat, or whatever you want to call it. If a person, if a husband wants to communicate with his wife, or the wife wants to communicate with his husband, there must be an understanding of what the other one wants, or the other one feels it's right. Same thing with the mother with a child. If the mother wants to communicate with the child something, there must be an understanding of what the mother wants to convey. Sometimes a child will just wander around his eyes and go this way and that way. And a lot of times the mother would, I've seen it in adults too. The eyes wander around and everything. That's why when I talk to somebody and their eyes are wandering around, I said, "Are you listening to me or not? Look at me." I wasn't that way before, but it's bothersome to see that. Oh, I have that in my. I admit I have that. So, if we want to communicate with someone and that person is not opening the doors or being receptive, meaning bringing it in to their mind what the person is saying and is wandering around, or is you saying, "Oh, okay, I will, but maybe I'll see. Okay, I'll think about it," and all this. No, there has to be a communication right there. That's why we have leaders, and that's why we have followers. Well, I'm not a leader. I'm more or less like a follower. Sometimes I think I'm a leader, but I'm not. But I think I know what I want, and I try to convey that message, and I condense it. I get to the point, and I say, "This is what I think is best for this relationship to go this way." That each morning we wake up or whatever, and we communicate. My cousin Joe, when he was living, when we are going to college and we're roommating together, he says, "Well, let's read the newspaper and let's see what we can come up with. Kind of talk to each other about the current events." There's different ways to do that. There's couples that go maybe hours without speaking with each other because that communication is gone. There's no communication whatsoever. So in a relationship, there's got to be someone that says, "Okay, well, this is the way we're gonna do it, and this is the way we're gonna do it." It's not saying, "Well, I got the pants right here, or I got the dress, or whatever." No, it's just trying to see what's the best way a certain relationship can go. That's why they have CEOs, chief executive officers. No, 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 no. Let's cut the prices here. Let's cut that, and he's the one that has the final word. It's not saying he's the boss or anything like that. Just saying this has got to be someone that brings that out. And if there's no communication between a CEO and the board of directors, whatever, the product may go under. The stock may go under. Stock meaning the price of the certain item. Same thing with a relationship and a man and a woman, boyfriend, girlfriend, a mom and a child. If there's no communication, then at times the person would say, "Well, I can't communicate with my sons. I can't communicate with my wife." Well, they say, "Well, speak in their level," you know. And sometimes a mother will go a little bit beyond, or a dad, to try and be that person's buddy, to communicate with that person. And but it loses the touch because he's the dad and that's the son, and he can't. The father cannot be his buddy. He's the boy's got buddies at school. Same thing with the girl. The girl cannot be the daughter cannot be the mom's best friend because she has to have some authority right there, and that's what it is, an authority. So in any kind of a setting, even a meeting, they have the person rather with the gavel and a stick and says, "Wait a minute, wait, silence, everybody. We have got to talk about this and let's stick to the subject at hand." That's why they have agendas and how they're going to present a certain meeting and everything. I told the administrators right here, whenever you guys come in here and want to talk to me, I want it written down what we're going to talk about. I don't want to go this way, that way, that way, that way. Let's stick to the subject at hand. When we finish that subject, let's go on to another subject, but let's take care of a subject one at a time. All I'm saying is let's have some communication with one another, whatever it may be, so we can understand each other.